There's really two distinctions. One is what I call victim speak. If you watch a victim speaking, you'll hear things like, I can't, I'm sick of, I'm tired of, I don't like this. And then if you hear a leader speak, I call it leadership vocabulary, it's much more the language of possibility, much more the language of inspiration, much more the language of energy, much more the language of what can be made to happen. It makes me think of Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs had something called the reality distortion field, which is a term used by Bud Tribble, who was working at Apple at the same time. And he said, even if you didn't believe in Steve's vision, what he was going to bring into the world, when you were with him, you almost got hypnotized by his language, by his belief in himself, by his energy. And you got pulled into this reality distortion field so that you actually went, yeah, Steve, this can be done. And so do you have your own reality distortion field so that when people are around you, through your language, you uplift them? Because bottom line, words can uplift or words can destroy. And if you look at a Nelson Mandela or you look at a Martin Luther King Jr. in his I Have a Dream speech, he used the language that lifted up an entire nation, that showed people what was possible, that painted a gorgeous picture of the future. And then you've got some so-called leaders, and rather than the language of leadership, they used the language of hate. And the words they used didn't lift people up, but they destroyed entire nations. And so I invite you, as you make your leap from where you currently are to where you always wanted to be, to get your words right. I'm an absolute fanatic about the words I use because I understand the words I use so influence the people around me. I so understand the words I use affect my energy. Call a problem and it becomes a problem. Call a problem an opportunity and it totally reframes your psychology and your emotional architecture about how you reply to it. Some examples. The other day, one of my much valued teammates was looking at, I believe, a blog post or something I had written. And he was going through it to making sure it all flowed. And he goes, Robin, I made some corrections on the paper or some corrections to what you did. And I gently, because I'm a fanatic about language, I understand the power of words, I said, how about rather than calling them corrections, we call them optimizations or iterations? And he went, love it. There was, the other day, we're in my hometown, we're in the autumn season. And I was talking to someone else and sharing, I love autumn. And he said fall. Now, you might say, Robin, this is a bit extreme, but I don't call autumn fall. I call autumn autumn. Oh, I love the crispness in the air. I love the colors. I love walking in the forest in autumn. Why? Because fall, the power of that word fall means fall. Fall has a negative, emotional, subconscious feeling to it. Another example, I remember a loved one saying, please don't forget to do this. A lot of people do that, right? Like you send an email or a text to someone, please don't forget to pick up the milk from the grocery store. But think about that. Please don't forget, psychologically, is brain tattooing your habit of forgetfulness. So how about rather than don't forget, to please remember? So you really want to be meticulous with your words. You really want to remember that the words you use every single day either create a mindset and an energy level of being a victim, or a mindset and an internal psychology of being a world-class leader. You want to nail your words. You want to use the language of possibility. A problem's not a problem is an opportunity. It's not the language of can't, it's the language of I can. It's not the language of I hate doing this, it's the language of what's the opportunity